Double tongue. Another Spreaker episode. Today is September 15th, 2019. And I'm glad you could tune in to hear my podcast. www.spreaker.com. As always, thank you for the love and support. Please continue to follow me on Spreaker.com, YouTube, Facebook, although I'm doing a new page, but I'll have that page up and running very soon. Twitter, of course. Twitter at Devil Tongue. Snapchat. SoundCloud, which I promised a SoundCloud linkage in earlier podcasts. I'll make sure I get that up and running. Skype. You can always email devil.tongue@gmail.com. And for those of you who are brave enough to pick up the phone, area code 347-954-6296. Leave me a message and we'll get the conversation. I should say we'll continue the conversation via the receiver. Let's talk about something very interesting which affects all of us. As you know, Devil Tongue, let's talk about the issues that affects all of us, me too. I'm going to call this podcast self-service. Now, what I mean by that explicitly is, obviously there's some things that you can't do on your own for the sake of argument. Say you need your engine or transmission worked on your vehicle. No, you have to take that to a mechanic, the auto body shop. But if you want coffee, iced coffee, why can't you brew your own pot? When it comes to lunch, dinner, and even breakfast, why can't you just make time, get up early enough, or, if you're sitting around doing absolutely nothing, maybe you're watching TV, why can't you just go turn on the stove and do what you need to do? One excuse I've never been able to accept from anyone is I can't cook. You know what? If you're trying to cook based on what you observed your parent or parents doing, that's where you're falling short. Because if you can read, if you have reading comprehension, then you can cook. Whether you get the recipe out of an old school cookbook, whether you get it offline from Google. Cooking is not something that you have to go to culinary school for. Cooking is something you learn through trial and error. And you can always ask someone else for tips and tricks on how to make anything from a scrambled egg to a baked Alaska. I say this because, shout out to Perfume, my other co-hosting partner, Perfume, she wants to always tease me about making my own coffee. As opposed to, she's a little bit more financially stable than I am. But anyway, instead of going downstairs to get the iced coffee. Okay, let's face it. When you go buy creamer out of the store, first of all, there's a variety of flavors. I don't like stores where literally there's only one flavor available. Let's say French vanilla. No, it has to be French vanilla, hazelnut, caramel, or caramel, depending on how you pronounce it. Mint, and the list goes on. You get what I'm saying. I just put the creamer, after I boil the coffee, I put the creamer in a cup, don't add any sugar, pour in the coffee, shake it up, and there you go. Of course, you should add ice cubes, or in my case, I usually like to throw it in the freezer to chill it down and enjoy my beverage. Cooking in general, whether it be steak or hamburger or fish, you have to know how to adjust the temperature on your oven. Now, let's say for whatever reason you have to rely on the microwave. There's still a way to cook in the microwave without burning your food, without overcooking your food, and certainly you don't want your food undercooked. But for people who say, I don't know what I'm doing, that's a cop-out. Same can be said for a lot of things. Resumes, for example. Now, depending on your age, and I'm going based on age, you should learn how to do resumes and not necessarily have to rely on resume services, which a lot of times you have to pay for that, correct? Mind you, templates are available through Word, or Microsoft Word. Or you could, I'll say, copy a template from online. The thing is, learning how to do it is beneficial to you. Learn how to balance a checkbook, unless that's something you've never done before. It's beneficial to you. Paying bills, generally speaking, is a skill that, again, I'll take age into consideration. We all need to learn how to do. And that's especially true if, say, you own a house. Well, in general, if you're paying rent, you got a lot of bills like yours truly. You better know how to budget those books. You need to be gainfully employed, generally speaking, and have the income to sustain your monthly expenses. But there's still a way to balance your books and budget wisely without you going in the hole and having to rely on credit cards in a lot of cases, or even borrow money. Great example. A cell company which shall remain nameless, to me, is charging way too much money for my monthly service. I'm not going to go into specifics or details about the bill, but let's just say that what I'm paying is way more than what I was initially promised/offered. And I'm not going for it. There's plenty of companies out here who give you a reasonable bill, although the service may be suspect. Now, again, it doesn't matter what phone service carrier you're with. If it's you and you only, even if you have, let's say, a phone and a tablet, you know how much you can swing comfortably and how much you should be paying. So why would you pay more than that? Because here's where they get you. Oh, you can get, I'll say 5 lines. 5 lines, or like the commercial right now from T-Mobile, 4 lines. Allegedly, the first 2 lines you pay for and the other lines are free. So if that's the case, then why does the bill not reflect those free lines? Why are you charging me this exorbitant amount of money for the extra lines that, let's just say for the sake of argument, are not even being used? You know what? We can do without it because I need my money for me. I'm not trying to give you my money. And that's the honest to God truth. Some of us devil tongues are broke. www.speaker.com. You're listening to Devil Tongue and his podcast, which I try to do this weekly, and that's no lie. Can't promise you daily or nightly yet. Not yet. But hopefully with luck and blessings and some networking, maybe we can take Spreaker to the next level, as in Sirius XM. So anyone from Sirius XM, I hope you're listening, because Devil Tongue is about to contact you in a very professional manner. This podcast alone should be going out to thousands, if not millions of listeners, and again, I appreciate the support, but I need to ramp it up, take it to the next level, so that even more people can hear and support. Now, again, I'm titling this podcast Self-Service only because I feel that we can do more if we put a real effort into doing more for ourselves. Whether it's waking up in the morning, whether it's brushing your teeth, whether it's just sustaining and maintaining your life. You can do a lot more by simply trying to do more. And too many of us make excuses, that, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. And the real question is, but why can't you? What is it that's stopping you from doing what you need to do when you need to do it? It's almost like you want that damn sympathy, when you don't even really need sympathy. What you need is to get up off your behind and make certain that you're doing what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, the only one to really rely on you is you. You know, you can have children, you can have a significant other, but the bottom line is you have to make sure that you are covering all your bases. And don't let me get into it about being there for the next person, because if you can't do for yourself, how can you expect to honestly do for whoever is in your circle, your life, your family? I'm fiercely independent, at least I try to be, and I should say I love independence. Nothing wrong with being waited on, you know. Nothing wrong with you waiting on someone else. But keep it in perspective. You want to be able to do for yourself as much as possible so that you're not that quote-unquote burden to the next person. Now, when infants, babies, you know, when they're in your life, yes, the baby must be fed, the baby must be changed, the baby must be bathed. As we age, some of us in our early senior citizen years are very spry. And you have some senior citizens, God bless them, 80, 90, they still do for themselves. As a generality, you know, there are a lot of people who are older and honestly do need the support, do need the help. Whether they're on a cane, a walker, or unfortunately maybe they're even in a nursing home because, you know, they've just broken down over the years. There's no one reason or well, we'll stick with that. There's no one reason for that. You know, some people just stay up and stay healthy, and others, despite their best efforts, you know, age has gotten the best of them. You want to think and believe that you're going to pass away from natural causes, hence old age, but there is a lot that goes into that, including maybe genealogy, as far as, you know, the genes that are in your bloodline. But that's a little bit too technical for me to get into, because I have no research on that. Everything is more opinion based than anything else, you know. However, I'm gonna give out that phone number again. You know why? Because I like hearing from people. I prefer to host my shows with a co-host. Right now, Double Tongue is fine solo, but that's not an issue. It's not a problem. 347-954-6296. I will say that if and when I do get another co-host to bounce off of and, you know, cast my difference of opinion, etc., it's going to be great. You know, it's good now, but I'm trying to make it better. And should I make it to Sirius XM, you're going to have shows that are going to be very memorable, if not just something to talk about for days on end. Not even the next day, but for days moving forward. You know, I want to be able to be that voice of inspiration, that voice of hope, positivity, and keep you all encouraged. You know, again, double tongue, well, has a dual meaning. I'm not going to get into the dual meaning in this podcast. Maybe in previous podcasts, some of you may have heard me explain it, break it down. And for those of you who might be wondering, well, where is Phantom Other? I'm going to say this with all the sarcasm in my pincers and tail. That's a good question. I don't know. But that's the reason why I'm flying solo. If not, once again, I'll just say I'm flying solo until further notice. So, that's my banter for this particular podcast. I'm going to definitely have some deeper, stimulating topics as time goes on. And thank you for tuning in and listening. Also, my podcasts don't have a real time limit per se. You know, with my co-hosts, we be doing the 15-minute intervals. I can talk to you for 20, 25 minutes. I can talk to you for an hour. I don't want to bore you with banter either. It really depends on the subject matter when you get down to it. So, Devil Tongue.